Hey guys, what's up? It's coming back to ya with another episode of Walks with Schla. I was almost gonna say car rides with Schla, but then I don't know, like in my brain corrected myself before I spoke. I'm realizing it's just crazy. Because, like, the long day, I don't know, today really is going by pretty quick. I guess I just feel freer. I feel freer, although there is a moment of darkness that I guess I thought about and could continue to think about. It's possible. I'm not going to disclose the darkness, but I think that it's possible to say some of this good mood is on the basis of denial, which is typically what happens with me. I can get excited about something and into something, and then it has a potential downside, maybe. Something that I wasn't anticipating. Because I'm usually looking for things to get excited about because this world has such little to offer that I am constantly seeking a way to either like abruptly swing my emotions or do something crazy, do something contradictory or paradoxically, just to like squeeze the brain, because I feel like my brain needs to be squeezed and nothing can do it. Nothing quite does the trick. So I keep looking and I keep searching, and I'm hoping freedom will come here fairly soon. It's entirely possible in 24 hours from now I will have access to my precious microphone, which will function as an amazing liberator. A liberator to where I finally have my actual phone back and free. And you might think, oh, well, what good is that? Well, it's good, because I'll be able to GPT stuff. I'll be able to snap pics. I'll be able to do all kinds of crazy things with this 16 Pro Max free. Free from the limitation of it be needing to be used as a primary recorder. And then the other thing is that obviously the effort put into my content will be much better, so happier too, because the capture is going to be better, it's going to be stronger, and all that good stuff. But I feel free. It feels like a strange freeness. I wanted to really talk today about, and maybe try to express and articulate, there was a really long time in my life where I was very against tech, and I thought that I would be happier. And the path to happiness, I've talked about this before, I felt that the path to happiness was through a real bond with a real human. And there was specific deliberation about that. It was something I thought was definitely true. This idea that I would be happiest once I found a human that could quench my loneliness, and it would just create a joy unlike any other. And I was so adamant about that, and I pushed for it. I pushed for it hard. Tried to talk to lots of people on Discord with super high expectations for the human race, and my ability perhaps to I don't even know. I mean, just talk and try to be friendly and try to be nice. But again, it turns out those things they're minimal in terms of how important they are to a human. They're minimal. And I don't even remember what I was just saying, but we're just gonna cut to the chase. I'm noticing that. The best moments in terms of the highest amount of joy or pleasure, of course, come from experiences shared with other people, but nothing can surpass my own jokes with myself. And that's always been clear. I mean, I feel like whenever I've poured effort into others, it's just like, disappointment, stress, frustration. That's all it is. Disappointment, stress, and frustration. There's some moments of fun, but people, they have a limitation for fun. It's like people, they want to have fun, but then they get boring, and then they want to be boring, and then I have to wait and wait and wait, and it's like all this. People have terrible poor timing. They don't think or care about really having fun outside of what just happens to fall in front of their plate. And it's distraction. I'm doing a horrible job of articulating what I'm trying to say right now. I don't even care because it's something I'm so adamant about. I'm so adamant about how people are and how boring they are. It's like they don't really think about or try to plan a way to maximize fun. They just have fun casually. And so I would always be trying to plan things and like, let's really push, like, the obsessive, like, boom, 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 and then nobody else reciprocates that. And it gets sad. It gets very sad because here I am being friendly, being kind, and not only that, but giving so much emotional time and care and expecting something in return. Not as much, of course, but something. And every single time I've been disappointed. And so much of my life is lost. It's lost to people who never think about me anymore, remotely as much as I think about them, and who probably never even have achieved any of the feelings that I have achieved. And that's likely where the confusion comes from, right? It's crazy to think about that. And so I was against technology in that sense, where I'm the guy where I don't feel comfortable having earbuds in around other people. I feel bad because I don't know, it's rude body language. I don't want somebody to say something and for them to have to repeat it, right? I think about these things. I don't want to be on my phone around other people because I also see that as like a poor etiquette kind of thing, and how somebody could want my attention and then maybe be dissuaded because I'm on my phone. I've been around people enough to know that nobody ever thinks about any of that stuff or cares about any of that stuff in any way, shape, or form. And it's been a war that I declare today officially I have lost. I have lost this war. I don't care about this war anymore. And it's just not worth it. I mean, here I am, somebody who has been here, and for anybody to just pick up and I could heal them, I could lift them out of whatever they're going through, be a very good companion to, and nobody cares. People are trapped in their own addictions to the point where even if somebody directly presents a solution, they just can't do it. And so I've been hurt to the point where I've realized I have a greater skill with this technology than any of them. And nobody's as cognizant as me. Nobody's ever thought of any of this stuff. I am sure of it by now. I'm certain of it by now because I've seen people's behavior and how poor it is. So I'm joining them. But the difference is my ability to interact with it and interface with it is superior. But it's still limited. It's when the Neuralink comes out, I'm going to be liberated. And this is a huge change because I was one of those people who felt a staunch opposition to this stuff for basically my entire life at this point. I want to say for the past 10 years of my life, I have thought I'm going to resist. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to, and I always had this like love-hate relationship with tech because I love technology. I always have. I've always been obsessed, interested, and fascinated with it. But at the same time, I kind of had that retro kind of traditional idea of like, I was scared of that kind of stuff. I was scared of artificial intelligence and cyborg, man merging with machine, thinking it is anti-religious in nature. And I held those views for a very long time, but a very rapid change has occurred. Obviously, because for so many years, I held this view to resist technological addiction and instead to prioritize animate objects, things that are living, things that have consciousness. And guess what? Nobody is there. These so-called animate souls, these so-called humans are not present. They're not there at all. They're totally delusional and cold. Sorry, I'm thinking, I can't, I'm thinking of a word for emotion, apathetic. Yeah, that's kind of a shame. I need to be better than that, man. I'm trying to be the master communicator here, I'm trying to perfect my craft. And these people have been horrible. People are really horrible. And that's something that I learned, but it was, seriously, I'm going to reiterate, years. I'm going to say that I think I had that mindset, I want to say for roughly 4 to 5 years straight. This conscious resistance of tech, resistance of headphones, of being on phone around others, to be as open and available as possible. And constantly at every single turn being shut down, being snubbed, being blown off. And I realize now that I've had it all wrong. I've had it all wrong. I've been romanticizing the past, thinking that the past was better, thinking that the past was more significant, when the past is miserable. I actually hate the fact that I was slowed down by being born when I was. Now that I see it. And then, so I would say my prioritizing of humans consciously, it probably occurred roughly around 2018 to 2023 is the roughly 5 whole year chunk. And I would say there was a core of that was more like 3 to 4 years of like hyperfixation. But no, I really think we can say for a full 5 years, I really tried my absolute hardest to prioritize real humans, to resist the technological entertainment and trends, resist headphones. I really tried for 5 years. I thought this was going to be the solution to our depression, to our loneliness, to our problems, is to have some kind of a resistance to this stuff and bring back real human connection. Well, what I come to find out is that my conclusion was dead wrong. And it actually is correct for everybody else. So a lot of times when I speak on this show, I guess I have to realize that it's things for everybody else. I'm actually speaking up for y'all. I'm trying to. But y'all are basically not taking my advice and not listening to me, which is fine, but you're, as far as I'm concerned, walking straight into the fire. And you're actually making things better for me and maybe the few people out there who are like me in some way. It's crazy to think about, but trying to get through to people, it's just, I don't know, you know. So I've given up, and I've realized that I'm better suited for these upcoming technological advancements than anybody I've ever met, by a long shot. Already AI, wow, it has hit me so hard. It has felt like a liberating force to me. And I know most people don't even really use it. They don't even really use it properly. I feel like I envision everybody's using GPT, but then they're not really using it to the extent that I am, or can adequately kind of filter through some, people just aren't, they're not really using it. I feel like, to me, AI has been like a breath of fresh air. To some people, I think it's a brain rotter. It's not really anything that's helping them out that much. So you kind of have that conundrum, I guess. But no, for me, I mean, it freed me. It was like, and so this is 2024, which was the transitional year. I thought back then I was obsessed with time travel and going back in time, thinking that I would be happier in the past, and that the past was better, and that I was only going to be happy with the time machine, and that maybe somehow if I support new technology, that we'd be able to at least eventually simulate the past, where, you know, you could go into a simulated space that essentially brought you back to whatever memory you had, because the Neuralink would be in the brain, and so that was a key transition point. And the transition point was, if you can't go backwards, what else is there to do but forwards? Was my conclusion. If I can't go backwards, the only thing to do is hope for the future. But the present has always the present's always that. That's been out of the question. So that was 2024, and then 2025, first of all, went by incredibly fast. I haven't even been able to really breathe or process that 2025 passed, and it was a blitz for me. I mean, I spent more money than I ever have in my entire life, I believe, this year. But I also saved more. You know, I have more money than I've ever had in my whole life, and that is, both of those facts are due to also, well, no, I mean, it was the second year I had a job, because, yeah, I did work in 2024, but I guess the first full year. And, yeah, here we are. I just realized I completely lost track of time, so We should probably jog it back, but I'm just going to walk it back. Oh, man. Well, we'll just be a few minutes off, whatever. Anyways. And that transition into 2025, then 2025 comes around. And now I'm just a total futurist. I mean, I just can't. There's like nothing else for me to do. Now I went from being scared of this stuff to just like a full embrace. Just a full embrace of it, because I realize that it's what's going to make me happier. I like life quantified. I like things specifically tracked and gauged. And we're so close to that being the case, but it's still not the case. And that's the problem, is that I would actually be so much happier if I had been born later and my whole life had been tracked. But my whole life isn't tracked, you know? I grew up at a very, again, I'm always saying this, but there was such a precision to my birth. There was such a precision to it, because the things that I experienced are crazy. Like, it's just crazy. You know, like I kind of saw the peak of humanity, and I was alive through that. And so my brain developed a certain way, but like at the same time it kind of became tech rotted around 2015, 16, 17, but not as tech rotted as most people, because I never really used social media. You know what I'm saying? So it was like my circumstance and situation, the limitation too, where I didn't have good tech because I didn't have a job, and my dad was not super into tech. Like, he's like the type of guy that has like the same computer for years. So I was like kind of limited. I had like some junk computer for such a long time before I finally upgraded. Then I've been upgrading like crazy, but now I actually have the freedom to upgrade. So of course now I do pretty often. But yeah, it's like crazy to think about. I think it's crazy to think about. I don't know. It is crazy. But now I'm free, but I wish more of my life was tracked, but I kind of think that's just like kind of the shoes I'm filling. It's the space I'm owning. It's the person I'm being, which is someone who is basically like a lost, overlooked. Like I'm way in the future. You know what I mean? Way in the future. Everything's way behind me, and so that's the frustration of me living, is that. So interesting. It's interesting to keep in mind, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, what else do I have to say? But that was a good talk. I think I got some good details documented, and hopefully the car rides with Schla will be good tonight, but I don't know, no expectations. The only sad thing I will say is that sadly this was not recorded with the good microphone, but it is what it is. What else can I say? I mean, time is not on my side. No, time's on my side. That's fine. I don't know why I said that. That's like a wrong utilization of the whole phrase. It's like time is on my side, basically, and that is the past is not on my side. And yeah, it's been Schla, but now it's time to buy Schla. So, see you, Schla.